It's March. It feels like we're still processing last March, but it's March. March 1st, 2021. And we're here to call the select board meeting of the town of St. Albans to order. And we're going to start with a pledge of allegiance with everyone on mute following Stan Dukas's lead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag and to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with life, liberty, and justice for all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Stan. Okay, so we are here for our annual informational hearing about the vote tomorrow. What are we up to for ballots sitting in town hall now? If anybody knows.
Corey, I think, reported that earlier. Do you have an updated number? Do you want to say the one you have?
Anna probably has an updated number. I checked in with her about 10 o'clock this morning. I don't know if she's on to give an update.
If she's not,
If not, we were around 1,400 ballots in this morning.
Good. Are you guys hearing me okay? Because I'm hearing you guys pretty scratched up.
I'm on.
Yep.
yeah, your sound, Brendan, is pretty awful. It's broken on this end as well. It's your headpiece. I don't think that cooperates with this system.
Well, half the time, right?
I'm on.
All right, so Anna, we just asked if you had an updated number on the number of ballots that were in to date.
As of 2:30, I have 1,406 ballots in.
Nice. And how many votes do we usually get on town meeting?
That's about 31%.
Okay.
If you look at last town meeting, it was a presidential primary.
Yeah.
And there was 2,000 people voted. So I do expect at least 500 or 600 coming through tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks.
In good shape. But still, we're here March 1st. Does that sound any better with that headset off?
Much better.
Perfect.
Thank
It
you.
only works like half the time. I don't understand. But so we're here to have our public informational hearing. If anybody would, we need to make a motion reading the hearing notice. If anybody would like to do that and to make a motion to open.
I'll make a motion to open the warning for the town of St. Albans remote public information hearing on budget and ballot questions and official town meeting warnings by Zoom teleconference. And goes on, the legal voters of St. Albans are hereby warned and notified to meet remotely by Zoom teleconferencing in the St. Albans Town Hall, 579 Lake Street Road, St. Albans, Vermont, on March 1st, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. to conduct an informational meeting on the budget and articles to be voted on by Australian ballot. Voting will take place on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021 at the Collins Sports Complex located at 890 Fairfax Road from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
There was a motion at the beginning of all that. To
Yeah.
open informational hearing. So if we could have a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Aaron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. So Carrie, would you mind reading the warning? I think that's what we usually do every year is we read each article and ask if anyone in the audience has a specific question related to the article.
Correct. So from the top, our warning read very similar to what we just read, but I'm going to repeat it. The legal voters of the town of St. Albans are hereby warned to meet at the Collins Sports Complex at 890 Fairfax Road in St. Albans, Vermont, on Tuesday, March 2nd, to vote on the articles herein set forth. Articles 1 through 4 are to be voted on by Australian ballot. The polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Article 1 is where we elect our officials. So it reads, select person for a term of 3 years, select person for a term of 2 years, town clerk for a term of 3 years, town treasurer for a term of 3 years, delinquent tax collector for a term of 3 years, town constable for a term of 1 year, grand juror for a term of 1 year, town agent for a term of 1 year, and a library trustee for a term of 3 years, I believe. So Article 2, shall the legal voters of the town of St. Albans authorize the select board to spend an estimated $5,195,068 for town general expenses, of which $4,422,592 is to be raised by taxes. So that's our budget, the town municipal budget. The difference, of course, is the estimated revenues that Anna and I worked on. And I usually pause there to see if anyone has any questions on our budget, and that includes any department within the budget.
Mr.
We're all
Chairman,
set to move on.
Mr. Chairman,
Andy?
before we move on to ask if there's any questions, I'd like to state public comments on specific items. You're allowed 3 minutes, but the comments by the public or members of the body must be addressed to the chair of the board as a whole and not to any individual member of the body or public. Members of the public must be acknowledged by the chair before speaking. If a member of the public has already spoken on a topic, he or she may not be recognized again until others have first been given the opportunity to make a comment. Public comments must be allowed prior to the select board taking action. Opportunities to express one's opinion outside of the comment period may be permitted during the meeting, but reasonable limits may be placed by the chair on the duration and frequency of participation. That's all I wanted to make clear before we open it to any questions.
Thank you.
Stanley, just allow me to take this opportunity to say, I'm really gonna miss you. Please get on every meeting you can. So with that in mind, does anybody have any questions related to Article 2, the budget? And hearing none, let's move on to Article 3, which is usually the most popular article in every town meeting day.
Yes, shall the legal voters of the town of St. Albans authorize the select board to use up to $250,000 of prior year general fund balance to reduce taxes for the fiscal year 2022. So with that, it is what it sounds like. We're asking to use what we had as a balance, part of what we had as a balance to offset the taxes for the current year here.
Do you have any questions about Article 3? Okay, let's move on to our last article, the Town Hall, Article 4.
Article 4, shall the legal voters of the town of St. Albans authorize the construction of a new town hall to be located near 576 Georgia Shore Road in an amount not to exceed $4.5 million using infrastructure development funds or our local option tax funds, impact fees, and to be financed by a loan pursuant to 24 VSA 1786A in an amount not to exceed $2,500,000 for a term of not to exceed 15 years.
$2,500,000.
Correct.
Want to make sure for the record, I would need to have the. Do we have any questions related to Article 4 from the public? Any questions at all about Article 4? Okay, so hearing no questions, I would say if the board agrees, we should consider making a motion to adjourn the hearing. We could talk FY22 budget. We have spoken at length about it at several previous meetings. And given who's in this virtual meeting at the moment, I think that most folks are fairly aware. And if not, please do ask a question, but I think they're pretty aware of where we are with our budget. I will say for the record, our department heads did an excellent job of level funding every department except the Parks Department this year. And we also, we saw a significant increase in our policing services cost line item. from 850,000 to a little over 1.2 million. But so that 3.5 cent increase would normally be reflected on our tax bill, but since we had a fiscally responsible year and estimate that we can return up to $250,000 of general fund balance as part of Article 3, that we'll only be looking at about a 2-cent tax increase this year. So we've got the most conservative, low tax rate in Franklin County, and we aren't going anywhere anytime soon. Does anybody have any specific comments or questions about the budget? Okay, would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn the public hearing and to reconvene the select board meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the public meeting and reconvene as the select board in the select board meeting.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. So we're landing back at agenda item number 3, warrants. Stanley, before you start tonight, I would like everybody to make a point to soak this in. We take it for granted how well Stanley can comb through and articulate different points about our various warrants. And that's definitely a void we're going to have to collectively fill every meeting. You know, you've set the bar very high, Stanley, and I can, on behalf of the 5 of us here, we look forward to trying to live up to your example with your help.
You got it. Okay, I have the general warrant dated 3/1/21. 76 invoices, total $38,513.20. 3 invoices, sand and salt, $9,733. 9 invoices, Green Mountain Power, $3,676. 14 invoices for insurance. This covers disability and dental, $1,919. Purchasing of the town report and the ballots, $2,379. Propane to heat the fire department, $1,656. 4 invoices from Brown's for gas and oil, $2,133. Sandtech, $3,993. There was some engineering services that we got about last fall sometimes. We had the money for it. We still have money left out of Carrie's bucket of dollars.
That's under town manager.
So what I've covered was 66% of what we totally spent. The rest were odds here and there. Nothing really stuck out. So I would make a motion that we approve warrant dated 3/01/21 in the amount of $38,513.20.
Second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. I have the payroll also. Payroll for February 8th through February 14th, 2021, $18,033.24. That was 6 pages of check, which is pretty normal, nothing standing out. The next pay period, this is what stands out. The range was from January 25th to February 21st, 2021, in the amount of $34,237.50. 13 pages of checks. We had 1 lost check that we covered, and we had Beamers, that's the retirement account, plus the DPW guy, snowplow operators are on call. And that's why that drove that to that amount of money for the second week, $34,237.50. I make a motion that we sign for these payrolls and the amounts that I just given.
Second. Questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Industrial park warrants dated March 1. $3,391.43, and it's all to Drumac for some servicing around the pump packages we have. It's very interesting. I happened to be down at DPW when Alan called it up, and he can tell us which pump is pumping and how long it pumps, why the other one's not pumping, and he makes a call to the engineering person. It looks like one pump was working harder than the other, so there may be some problem with that. And I believe Drumac called the people that installed it, and they pulled the pump out and they're sending it back to the shop for repairs. So it's amazing what we don't see, but if we go look, we say, wow, do they look at that? And they do. So I'll make a motion that we approve this warrant, industrial park, for $3,391.43.
Second.
Aaron, thank you. Tie goes to the runner. Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, the next one I have is the infrastructure development warrant for the town hall cost center. And that amount is $19,875.47. Freeman, French and Freeman, $18,303.97. And Bergeron, Paradis, Fitzpatrick, that's the town attorneys, $1571.50, for the total of $19,875.47. I'll make a motion that we approve this warrant.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan. Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next warrant I have is the Stonehouse warrant, and for the amount, for the date of March 1st, 2021, in the amount of $1,987.96. There was 5 invoices. 2, 3, 5, yeah. Goslin Electric, $1,320. Walter Electric, $245.40. Walter Electric, $41.13. Green Mountain Electric Supply, $18.43. Green Mountain Electric Supply, $363. Total, $1,987.96. I'll make a motion that we approve the Stonehouse warrants for that amount of money.
Second.
Thank you, Aaron. Any questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you, Stan. All right, so let's move on to agenda item number 4, which are the minutes. So we have the minutes of our last meeting ahead of us. Does anybody have a question or a correction? Or would anyone like to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve our minutes from the February 17th meeting.
Second.
Thank you, Jessica and Aaron. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Okay, so now we get to move on to public comment. Is anybody here to make a public comment? Agenda item number 5. Hearing none, would a board member like to make a motion to open as the Liquor Control Board and to adjourn as the Select Board?
I'll make a motion, we recess the select board meeting and make another motion to convene as the liquor control board.
What's one motion together? Doing the 2 things at once.
Okay, sorry.
Perfect. Okay, just want to clarify. We have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jessica. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, Stanley, do you have the license?
I
renewal?
do have the 2021 liquor license renewal, American Legion, first class license, American Legion, third class license, American Legion outside consumption. The next, Mill River Brewing, first class license, Mill River Brewing, third class license, Mill River Brewing outside consumption. The next one is the Bayside Pavilion, first class license, Bayside Pavilion, third class license, Bayside Pavilion outside consumption. That's the three businesses that are requesting a new liquor license for the year.
Anna, are our license holders, are they all clean? Everything good?
Everything's fine.
Perfect. So Stanley, would you like to make a motion to renew all licenses?
Motion to accept the three businesses for the first, third, and outside consumption, the American Legion, Mill River Brewing, and Bayside Pavilion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Now we need to adjourn as the Liquor Control Board and reconvene as the Select Board.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn as the Liquor Control Board and reconvene as the Select Board.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're back. Agenda item number 7, Town Manager's Report. Carrie, take it away.
All right, so hopefully this is quick. So there are, as some of you know, we generally make appointments to the Planning Commission and DRB and some of our other committees in end of March, early April every year. This is just our early commercial that we're gonna need to do so again. And at this point, we are down 2 DRB members. And we really need to begin looking to fill those. That's a pretty critical board, obviously. So we're gonna start doing some advertisements, but it seems like the most effective way to get people out to participate is through word of mouth. So if you know anyone who's interested, that committee is staffed well. They meet once, maybe twice a month. But it's pretty important that we have a quorum to maintain.
Just to maintain a quorum. I don't have anything else.
The Development Review Board is the most important volunteer board we have. I would say it's our vehicle for implementing complex land use laws at a local level.
Correct.
And our neighbors that step up to help us administer those land use laws, we really appreciate it. And we're calling everybody out here. We need some help recruiting some members. We're going to start having some quorum issues.
Right.
So if you know of anybody that talked about getting involved with the town, or if you had somebody who works a trade that was recently in your house and they live in the town, it's time to start making phone calls. We've reached that point.
And we will train them. I mean, that sometimes people ask, well, you don't have to have a degree, you just have to be willing to serve, and we will train people. All right, so I'll move on to the second one. Andrew, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I just add, on that little flyer with all the different boards, is there any way to add the Parks Committee on there? We could use a few more members as well.
Yeah, of course.
I don't think we have a set amount of members that we need.
I don't think you have a limit either, but so if there's any, we haven't updated that obviously in a couple of years. So if you notice anything else, let us know.
Right. Anybody have anything to add about recruiting appointees? Usually we try to have everything staffed by mid-April at the late. DRB, we're at a critical point though.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So the B under the town manager's report is the annual financial plan. That's really, we call it that because it's the state required legal term for what they ask us to ask you actually to sign on the line, certifying that we actually do spend more than $300 a mile on our winter road maintenance. I think we achieved that without a problem. So I'm asking that you consider signing that. And while I'm at it, I will need someone, at least 3 of you, to come in and sign the warrants, including everyone has to sign our liquor control licenses. So So right now I'm looking for a motion to, if you will, to approve our annual financial plan.
I'll make a motion. We approve the annual financial plan for the town highways.
Second?
Any questions? Alan, you had a hand in making that? It's right on par with the budget. All right, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Perfect.
Next item, actually, I gave you some information on policy versus ordinance. Alan and I talked about it today. I'd actually like to postpone this to the next meeting to actually talk about details, but if you have any questions on the information I gave you, I'd be happy to answer them. VLCT gave us a little blurb about, you know, in general, how a policy versus an ordinance is handled. I don't believe, since I've been here, and Jen kind of confirmed since she's been here, we've ever cited anyone for violation of our parks ordinance. So I'm not.
No, we also was animal control, and that has its own ordinance.
Right, so we still have overriding ordinances that we can use should something be wrong, but I'm kind of leaning towards having this just be a policy.
Anybody have a comment about their thoughts?
I just had a question. So I think in the VLTC email, they recommended that policies are more inward facing for staff to interpret and use as a guidance, and ordinance are more outward facing towards the public. I'm imagining that this policy will still be available for folks to review, but I think that the public would probably, if they are interested in going to the parks and having an interest or having an event at the parks, they'd probably be interested in reading it. So I don't know if there's a way once we finalize it that we can, especially with the new website, I don't know if there'd be a way to pull some of the more salient points to say, hey, you check out the full policy, but here's the bullet points of things to keep in mind when visiting the parks, just so it's a little bit more available for folks.
We do have a list of policies on our website.
Yeah, but I think what you're saying is you'd like a summary. I'm not sure how to summarize all that. We can try to hit the high
More
points.
content for Corey to build, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been working really hard on it the last couple of weeks, a little more longer.
Yeah, and also I would hate to have to ask for staff to be, when they're updating policies or ordinances, to then update a separate document, I guess, in the website. But I don't know. I guess with the website, if it's easily searchable and folks have a question about parks and it comes up, then that probably would satisfy my want to make sure this is available to folks.
All of our ordinances and policies will be on the website as like a PDF, so people will read the title and click into them. So it'll just be a quick change.
And I don't have the right terminology for it, but for PDFs, is it readable for folks that have vision impairment?
Yeah, so our whole website will be ADA compliant. So I think there'll be a tool in there that'll read the content to them.
Great, thanks.
If there's any feedback on the specific changes we had gone through in our first draft, please let me know.
I think certain things should live in a policy for the parks and certain things should remain in an ordinance. I think the two can coexist. I don't know if that's possible or if other towns do it. I'd like to have the authority to fine people for violating certain rules. I think an ordinance is the only vehicle to do that, but I'd also like the flexibility of a policy to be able to change schedules around and to be able to implement seasonal changes as we grow. And we're kind of at an inflection point with how we've operated the parks. And I think, having the ordinance off our back on certain items while being able to, still keep certain offenses finable would be really advantageous. Open to anybody else's thoughts.
Well, I guess I need to interject. If you're going to suggest that we have both, then I'm going to need those suggestions by next Friday. Just so that, because I really do want to try to push a discussion on the 15th. So if I could, by the 12th or the 11th, we're going to need to know what that suggestion is so I can share it with the rest of the board.
So maybe I should go through and pick out what should live in an ordinance and the balance should be the policy. maybe we can start to look at it from that perspective. I don't know, does anybody else feel that way, or do we feel we just need a policy and, you know, we're not gonna fine people for doing anything in the parks? I'm open to any points. Stanley, Jonathan, Jessica?
Or John, you know,
Just
John.
send Roger down.
John too. John, what's your perspective?
Yeah, there's been quite a few times where we have like public urination. There was an older guy drunk. So I don't know how you really want to handle that besides calling a police officer. I don't know if that would make a difference between a policy and an ordinance, but, or there's another, you get some people that kind of interject into people that are just trying to relax and have a good time kind of thing, laying down on people's blankets. I'd really like to be able to ask those people to leave, but
As park
Again.
staff, without having to call the sheriff's office? I think in
like
most
I-
cases, you can call the sheriff's office in, but
yeah,
whether or
I mean,
not
you
your
could-
parks staff has the authority to do certain things.
right. No, but I think that if you could kindly ask somebody to leave and then if they don't, then, or stop, then if they don't, call the, you know, call the proper authorities. That's all I really got on it.
Okay.
Most cases, though, we probably wouldn't issue them a ticket ourselves. But, and you can issue somebody a ticket. I guess that's a question for Roger or Paul. Can we issue someone a ticket for public urination in our park?
Absolutely, you could. Yeah, if you had a zoning violation, you could do that, municipal violation. Also, public urination, I think, correct me, Paul, I haven't read one of those in years, but it could be a state fine as well.
No, there actually is nothing on the books as far as public urination. So you would have to have it as a town ordinance for us to issue any type of ticket.
Let's go through and see what we
okay.
have the ability to ticket for now, and then I'll run that by the sheriff and Paul here to see if it needs to live in an ordinance and if the fine structure is reasonable. Maybe you gentlemen could help us with some commentary related to fine structure as well. Make sure they're on par with what you see in other areas.
Okay. With town meeting day, that actually might not get done by the 15th, but we'll shoot for that.
If it's not until April, usually the 15th is pretty busy with all kinds of appointments and reorganizing, and we'll have quite a bit hopefully to discuss. We will have quite a bit one way or another to discuss about the town hall. Hopefully it's all positive.
Yep. Okay.
Just one other thought on that. I don't know if, just looking through it, I had a similar thought initially as well. And the only section I had thought of was maybe the prohibited section, activities that are prohibitive. If we're saying that they're prohibited, maybe giving our staff and the sheriff's office and our whoever's providing police services then to be able to have some teeth behind it. And that way, I don't know if that's just the simplest place to look for those to see what might already fall under a legal statute versus what we need a municipal one for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that seems like a good course of action. Thank you for your help, Roger and Paul. We appreciate your insight. John.
All right, so I guess I'll move on. It's very hard to drink water in a mask.
So the Honor Wall Committee is our next item. I do have, as noted in the packets, members from a few organizations. I'm looking for a select board representative. Chief Cross is working on getting a rep from the fire department, but we could certainly proceed starting in April, I think at the latest, without one or two members, but we do need at least one or two more members. Right now, we currently have a member from the Planning Commission, Ann, Development Review Board, Christina, Park and Rec, John, Department of Public Works, John. He's gonna fill both of those roles. I will certainly staff it on behalf of the town hall, or if Anna wants to do that, she certainly can as well. But we still need maybe one person from the public and one select board member.
Stanley, how would you feel about being on the Honor Wall Committee?
Not right now.
All right, we'll come back to you later.
Just gonna kindly pass on that right now.
Can't blame a feller for asking, right?
Yep.
So who here on the select board has a burning desire to be on the honor wall committee? I said I would do it. I kind of pushed for the honor wall in general, so I feel an obligation there. But also open to allow anybody else to serve the role.
I'm thinking you got it, Brendan. Hands down. It looks like it's unanimous.
By consensus, I think.
I think that's true. Look at
For the
that.
record.
For the record, he didn't object, so he got it. And that usually only happens when you miss a meeting. So anyway, if you hear of anyone, it's a short-term committee. Someone has, a month or two. I don't even think it's going to take that long, but to donate some time, I'd love to hear from them. But one way or the other, I think we should move forward in April. And to that end, if anyone from the public watches our meeting or hears about this, we're going to start looking for nominations. I have one so far, but I think to be fair, we should talk about it a little bit to give people the opportunity to submit names. And for the record, it doesn't have to be private. Someone suggested Gould Sussland, just in case anyone was thinking of names already. I will keep moving. I'm going to add one to this because there is an update on the town hall, but
I'm a little late, but I think Gould's is great choice.
yeah, Larry Bruce suggested that one. I was trying to get Larry to join either, so don't bug him. So let's see, COVID-19, the town hall is still open by appointment only. The health department still has a great website. They have information, have continued to have evolving information on, current stats, but also now vaccination news. And so Aaron might want to give a little plug into a letter you sent me earlier about vaccination clinics.
Yeah, so we're really grateful to Collins Purley for letting us be at the complex for vaccinations. But since the town is going to be occupying Collins Purley tomorrow for town meeting day, we'll be at SATEC. We'll be vaccinating there tomorrow. And just wanted to share that Missisquoi Valley Rescue is offering evening COVID testing for free without appointment throughout the week. The health department's testing page does have that. You don't need to register, just walk on up. And they'll be cycling through Northern Franklin County this week and next week, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. each night that they're out. So great service for folks that are working right now and can't make it to a testing clinic during the day.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Before I get to the last thing on the printed agenda was that there's an application for a certificate of public good. There's no action required. It's a solar farm, Green Lantern Solar is the name we added because if you read through the paperwork and that sea of acronyms, it didn't really mean a single thing to me. So I didn't hear much objection to that. But the last thing I want to add to this section is town hall. An update, the select board is aware of this, but on Friday, the town became the proud owner of the land near the old DPW and the land that we hope to build a town hall on. So thank you, Jackie Brown, for working with the town. The land is now ours, and we were pleased to find out today that with the geotech testing that was done today, that we are back to Class D, which is a good class to have. At one point, we were downgraded to another class that might have cost us more money to put up the building. So construction has its many ups and downs, but there was good news today. Any questions on that?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Dukas.
I would just like to say on the purchasing of Jackie Brown's property, it was money that we asked the public for at the last election. So it's nothing that we just pulled out of the hat. It's something that was planned. We haven't done anything anywhere without first asking the public. This design work and everything, it's all been okayed through the public by a great many votes. So continue voting that way, folks. Thank you. That's it.
Stanley, that's a great reminder. I mean, we got to tomorrow's vote and Article 4 by utilizing 4 articles across 2 elections, and you know, they were all approved, and you know, there's a lot of community support for the project, and we hope to see it pass tomorrow, and then finally stop studying and talking about this issue and move on to better position the town for the moonshot road.
That's all I have under my report.
Anybody have any questions for Carrie? Okay. So agenda item 8, the schedule. We have our next regular meetings Monday, March 15th and Monday, April 5th. We're going to welcome Brian Delorier onto our board on the 15th, unless somebody's running a pretty darn good under the radar write-in campaign, Brian. Never know. You could both be gone tomorrow. You never know. But Stanley, all seriousness, absolute admiration and appreciation for you. Thank you for everything you've done for the town, for me as a young leader, for our staff. We really appreciate everything you've done in your 6 years as a board member, but over 7 years of service. We're grateful to you that you're coming back to be on the Town Hall Building Committee and the Stonehouse Committee with Alan. And we appreciate everything that you've done. And if anybody would like to add to that, please do.
Stanley was just appointed by the governor to a justice of the peace.
Well, there, you're on the Board of Civil Authority. You're not going anywhere. And just for the record, if this board was to consider appointing you to as town agent on the 15th, do you have any objections to that appointment?
No, go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
There. No letter of interest required, Stanley. Not for you. We're gonna waive it.
No, that's fine. Justice of the peace, the town agent, they'll keep me not
Busy.
that busy, but they'll give me some title.
Comes with no compensation whatsoever
Right.
for the record, so.
Oh, I'm gonna pay him.
Well, the town agent doesn't come with any
No.
stipend.
And good food at all elections work.
No.
Oh, we have town meeting day, Tuesday, March 2nd. Polls are open, 7 to 7. It's going to be extremely cold wind chill. So for that reason alone, I think we got a higher turnout than we would have, let alone the pandemic. -20 wind chills at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning in St. Albans. It's going to be pretty bad. So with that in mind, just remember that when we have these warm-ups and then sudden Arctic freezes, it can wreak havoc on home heating systems. Check on your elderly neighbors, make phone calls, make sure everybody's okay. We're in it together. Happy to say my grandfather had his first vaccine last week. Spoke with several contractors that work with us today that were scheduled for next week, being that they're between the ages of 65 and 70. Aaron, you and everybody at the health department, and Jessica, everybody at the vaccination site downtown, you're all doing God's work. And the light at the end of the tunnel gets bigger and bigger every day. Other than that, I have no report. Just again, want to thank Stanley for his service and dedication to the town, ongoing. We'd like to know and appreciate very much. Other than that, we have a good reason to go into executive session tonight. So unless anybody has any other business, like a motion to enter executive session and to invite the town manager and director of operations.
And one other person.
Oh, and we're inviting Brian Delorier. Well, make that call tonight.
We need a second.
I'll make a second.
Someone needs to read the motion.
Yeah, we need the motion first.
Well, I thought you actually had, but go ahead. Who wants to read that wonderful motion?
I'll go for it. I'll make a motion to go into executive session to discuss legal, contractual, or personnel issues where premature general public knowledge of the subject matter would place the town or persons involved at a substantial disadvantage. And further move to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss legal, contractual, or personnel issues under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of Vermont statutes, and to invite the town manager, director of operations, and incoming select board member Brian Deloria.
Thank you very much, Aaron. You have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Alan?